Oh crap, my braking just went out. That ain't good, my braking just went out. Alright, welcome to the past. Hopefully future me mentioned the kind of big changes that are coming to this channel, kind of. If not, then I don't know what I was thinking. So right, let me ask, right? Would anyone be surprised if I said I forgot to film the intro and past me was right? And now I'm on vacation? Yeah. Anyways, welcome back to the Business Made Simple channel. If you don't know, education here is absolutely free. It won't cost you even a dime, just a little bit of your time. Anyways, the big rebrand I'm thinking of doing is more kind of exercise, but knowledgeable videos like you're going to see today. Where I'm going to be either biking, going out for a subtle walk, or maybe during an actual lift. I don't know yet. We'll see in the future. And the other maybe rebrand to this channel is the channel handle may change. I cannot guarantee that yet. I don't know if I'm going to change it to my name or not. And finally, all the past videos that you remember that were done in such low quality format, I will be redoing. With the very next video you will see, maybe revisiting the Ford method I mentioned maybe 6 months back, I believe. Other than that, I hope you all really enjoyed this bike ride. I had so much fun filming it, and I gave away such valuable information. So please, enjoy. But anyways, today's topic, as you know, is tonality by the title. Crap, going a little fast here. Anyways, what is tonality? Well, I have a few notes here, right? Tonality is the attitude or emotional flavor behind a brand's message. Well, the TLDR to that, kind of, or the rephrasing to that, is it's not about just what is said in the message, but more so how the message is actually said. But like, why is tone so important to this though? Why can we not just say something and it works? Well, as I wrote down, the tone matters because it can alter a whole perception of your brand. And for tone too, there are loads of different kinds of tones. Whew, try saying that 3 times fast. Oh my gosh, like a little tongue twister. Anyways, we have, you know, formal versus casual. Formal, in my opinion, is like, you know, LinkedIn kind of. Casual being, you have slang, it's just like you're talking with your friends. So the next one we have is playful versus professional. Playful, we can picture like a Wendy's tweet. That's a really good example of playful tone. And professional, we could just go with, like, you know, LinkedIn again, because it's a very professional site and the tone of it is professional. And the other 2 types of tones I'd like to mention too. Oh crap, my braking just went out. That ain't good, my braking just went out. Anyways, going on with the video, we don't need that. What's that? Do I not have any brakes at all? Well, that ain't good. Anyways, the other types of tone I like to talk about is bold versus empathetic. So bold, we can think of is like a Red Bull commercial. You know, it's kind of adrenaline rushing. Like, it's very like, you know, Red Bull gives you wings and it can really help you do all this adrenaline pushing stuff. And empathetic, for example, is like a Dove commercial. You know, it's very empowering, like, you got this, girl, go! So one of my favorite examples when it does come to, like, you know, actual tone, outside just little excerpts, is Nike released this commercial with LeBron James. I think it was a few months ago or a year ago. I don't know, I found it last night while I was doing research for this video. And the message behind it, right? LeBron James is shooting around, he's getting his practice shots in. But while this is going on, he's giving, like, you know, this kind of motivational speaking away, which is kind of what the brand from Nike is. Because the ad was serious, and which is what Nike is as a brand. They're very serious, you know, it was not directed, well, it was very direct. Top of it, of course, in Nike fashion, the ad was very inspirational to everyone. Like, all the comments were mentioning how good the quote was. I remember reading through a few of those. But now, could we imagine if Nike did happen to use the wrong tone throughout this? Like, imagine instead of, like, you know, while LeBron James is shooting around and all that crap, could you imagine if he was like stuttering? Like, could you imagine if he just said, what winning isn't easy? Like, it gets the point across. Oh, I have some breaks. It gets the point across, but it kind of takes away from the ad as a whole, because no one would be talking about the message that was conveyed, but instead of, no, just the stuttering. Or if LeBron James was like very indirect in his messaging and it made no sense. Because if an ad makes no sense, then the ad was pointless. I think another type of tone we need to talk about too is there is a way you can convey tone in an ad with very little to almost no words. So we could look at, I think, Apple Pay. Apple Pay released this commercial a while ago when it, you know, when it just started coming out. And in this tone, well, not tone, what was I saying? In this video, there was this lady and this cashier. And, you know, she has plastic, aka, you know, she's using a physical card. And she's sitting there going back and forth with the cashier. The video's probably up on screen somewhere. But it's just, well, this cashier and the lady keep going back and forth saying like, oh, put it in like an airplane. And you can just tell she's obviously getting, you know, very frustrated because the card's not working. But then I think 50 seconds into the ad, it pans to the guy in the back register. And all he does, he has no lines at all. But he simply pulls out his phone, double clicks the side, and obviously if you use Apple Pay, you know that means it opens it up, he puts the card on, he smiles, giggles to himself, and then he just walks out because the ad was trying to convey how simple and easy Apple Pay is compared to putting a physical card in. Now, we're at that part in the video where you probably already asked yourself once or twice, how do I know what tone, oh crap, how do I know what tone to use? There is no clear and concise answer to that, I'll be completely honest. It really comes down to just knowing your audience, knowing what they expect from you, and the kind of image you want to set for yourself in the branding scheme. And also, by the way, of course, you know, the most obvious one is the emotional connection you want the person to feel. Do you want them to feel sad, happy, overjoyed, or mad? So the 3 mistakes you can really pick when you're deciding upon a tone is, number 1, just outright ignoring the audience. Like, for example, could we imagine if we took like Nike as a company, but they ignored their serious parts to their brand, and they kind of just went like a dove, like a dove kind of thing? Like, could you imagine how weird that'd really be for Nike? It would make no sense. That's why they have to know their audience they're trying to appeal to, which is athletes, people who are generally active, and they keep it serious and all that. All right, so the other big mistake people make is letting the tone kind of ruin the clarity of the message. Like putting way too much focus on just how it's said and not enough on what is said. And finally, right, by far the biggest issue that people have when they're picking their tone, it's just being inconsistent. When you're inconsistent in your tone, like let's say if I'm really serious on YouTube, but I'm very joking on Instagram, I would be known to 2 completely different audiences, and I wouldn't really know what my brand is. I wouldn't know if my brand is funny or my brand was outright serious. You know what, let's just bike ride and, you know, and just enjoy nature for the last couple minutes of this video. Ooh, they got no concrete. Anyways, I'm just gonna call the video here. Hopefully you all now know what tone means. If you have any further questions at all, please consider dropping a comment. I will answer them as clearly and as carefully as I can to really make sure you get the most value out of your question. And speaking of value, if you did get any out of this video at all, please consider sharing with a friend. Other than that, please subscribe, like, comment, all the fun stuff. And remember, don't have just a good day. Have a great day. I'm out here.